The rain hadn't stopped since the funeral, as if the sky itself refused to let go. Claire sat in the living room, the air heavy with the scent of wet earth and lilies. The old clock's ticking pressed against her skull like a heartbeat she couldn't quiet. Across the room, Lily stood barefoot, staring at the gift on the table, a small box wrapped in crimson ribbon, glinting faintly under the dim lamp. "Don't open it, Mommy," she whispered, voice trembling yet certain. Claire forced a smile, trying to disguise the unease crawling up her spine. "It's just from Grandma," she said. But as the clock struck 3, the ribbon twitched. Subtle, deliberate, like something breathing inside. And for the first time that night, Claire realized the silence was listening. The morning after was too quiet. Claire brewed coffee, the sound of the kettle the only heartbeat in the room. The gift box sat where she had left it, untouched, as though daring her to acknowledge it. She told herself it hadn't moved, that the sound she'd heard was a dream, a trick of exhaustion. But every time she looked away, she felt its presence tugging at her. A weight in her peripheral vision. Lily ate her cereal in silence, eyes flicking toward the box between bites. Claire reached to touch her daughter's hand. "You had a nightmare," she said softly. Lily didn't respond. She only whispered, "It's waiting for you." And then, just beneath the hum of the kettle, Claire swore she heard it again. The faintest scrape of something shifting inside the gift. By noon, the rain had turned to mist, curling around the house like memory. Claire busied herself cleaning, pretending the world was ordinary again. But when she passed the table, the ribbon's knot was different. Tighter, neater, as though tied by unseen hands. She froze, heart thundering, then forced a laugh at herself. "You were tired," she muttered. Yet the sound of that laugh echoed oddly, like it came from somewhere else. She took the box to her bedroom, locked it in a drawer, and sat on the edge of her bed, trembling. In the mirror, her reflection stared back, calm and still. Too still. Then, in the silence between breaths, the drawer clicked once, as though something inside had gently knocked. That evening, Dr. Marcus Hale's voice came through the phone, calm and rational. "Grief can distort perception, Claire. Sometimes our minds give life to the things we fear most." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to think the box was just a symbol of Evelyn's control, of her own guilt. But as she paced, the lights flickered again, and the hum in the air deepened into something almost sentient. From upstairs came the soft patter of small footsteps. "Lily!" she called. Silence. Then faintly, the sound of a lullaby, one Evelyn used to sing. Drifting down the stairs, Claire's throat closed. She had buried her mother 2 days ago, and yet that song still knew her name. Claire climbed the stairs slowly, the creak of each step echoing louder than it should. Lily's door was half open, pale lamplight spilling across the hallway. The lullaby faded into the rhythmic sound of something tapping, soft, deliberate, from within the room. She pushed the door open, expecting to see her daughter asleep. Instead, Lily sat upright on the bed, eyes fixed on the floor where the box now rested. Unwrapped, ribbon coiled neatly beside it. The paper lay flat and smooth, untouched by human hands. "I told you not to open it," Lily whispered, her voice almost pleading. Claire stepped forward, whispering. "I didn't." But when she looked down, the lid shifted just enough to release a faint sigh of breath. The storm returned that night, low thunder rumbling over the sea like a memory clearing its throat. Claire lay awake, the wind scraping branches against her window. She told herself it was the wind. Everything was the wind. Until she heard the steady tapping again. Not from the hall this time, from beneath the bed. Her breath caught. Slowly, she leaned over the edge, heart hammering so loud it drowned the rain. The gift box sat in the shadows, its ribbon gone, the lid slightly open. A soft pulse of red light shimmered inside, faint but alive, casting shapes that twisted like words. She whispered Lily's name, voice trembling. But Lily didn't answer. Only the box did, by closing itself with a click so soft it felt like acknowledgement. Morning light arrived weak and colorless. Claire sat at the kitchen table with Dr. Marcus Hale's number already dialed on her phone. But she couldn't bring herself to hit call. Across from her, Lily hummed quietly, the same lullaby from the night before. The tune bent wrong somehow, warped by something too old for a child to know. Grandma said it remembers. Lily murmured between verses. Claire's skin went cold. What does, sweetheart? Lily's eyes lifted, calm and distant. The box. She said it keeps what we don't say out loud. The clock struck 9. A moment later, from upstairs, came the unmistakable thud of a drawer slamming shut on its own. By afternoon, Claire's resolve cracked. She needed to see inside, to prove it was nothing. She found the box back in the bedroom drawer where she had locked it before. But the lock was unbroken, untouched. Her hands trembled as she reached for it. The moment her fingers brushed the lid, whispers fluttered through the air, indistinct at first, then words taking shape. You forgot her. Claire stumbled backward, knocking over a framed photo of herself as a child, standing beside her sister and Evelyn. The glass shattered. In the reflection of each shard, she saw the box open on its own, and something faintly human move inside. Dr. Hale arrived just after dusk, his shoes soaked from the rain. Claire met him at the door, words tumbling out. About the sounds, the light, the voice. He listened carefully, eyes sharp but gentle. Sometimes grief manifests in physical space, he said, scanning the living room. But when he turned toward the mantel, his breath caught. The portrait of Evelyn now hung crooked, the glass fogged from within. Beneath it, on the table, the box sat once more, perfectly wrapped in its crimson ribbon, as though it had never been touched. Did you? He began. Claire shook her head. The clock ticked once, then stopped. The silence pressed in like a verdict. That night, Dr. Hale stayed, insisting Claire rest. He examined the box carefully, noting the perfect symmetry of its folds, the faint scent of iron beneath the paper. Lily watched him from the staircase, silent as snowfall. When he looked up, her voice met him like a whisper in his thoughts. Grandma said it listens before it speaks. The house groaned, the floorboards expanding with unseen pressure. From within the box came a slow, rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. Claire rushed forward, slamming her hand down over it. The pulse stopped instantly, and in that silence, a new sound rose, a slow, dragging breath from inside the walls. The storm had quieted, but the house refused to rest. Claire couldn't stay inside any longer. She left Lily asleep and drove to Evelyn's house, her mother's world of stale perfume and forgotten prayers. The key still fit. Inside, time had stopped. Dust caught in moonlight, clocks all frozen at 3. The air smelled faintly of lavender and mold. On Evelyn's desk lay a stack of sealed envelopes bound in ribbon the same color as the gifts. Claire hesitated before tearing one open. Inside, the handwriting slanted and sharp. The gift must never be opened. It remembers what we buried. Beneath the letters, a photograph. Evelyn standing beside a lake, holding a small box. The same box half a century earlier. Claire read until her eyes burned. Each letter darker than the last, confessions of an accident, a secret pact, and the vow to silence it. The lake took what I could not keep. I sealed the truth to protect us. The lines bled into each other with the ink of guilt. Claire's chest tightened. The air shifted suddenly. Cold, metallic. She turned toward the mirror above the desk and saw movement not her own. Evelyn's reflection stood behind her, older, gaunt, whispering, "You were never meant to remember." Claire spun around. Nothing, only the whisper still clinging to her ears, and the faint scent of lilies wilting faster than time should allow. When Claire returned home, Lily was awake, sitting cross-legged on the floor beside the gift. "You found it, didn't you?" she said softly, not looking up. Claire's voice cracked. "What did she tell you, Lily?" The child looked at her with that same too-knowing calm. "She said the box was for the one who forgets. And you forgot, Mommy." Claire's hands trembled. She wanted to scream, deny it. But the memory flickered like static, Evelyn shouting near the lake, her sister slipping beneath dark water, Claire frozen on the shore. The truth she'd buried began to breathe again. Dr. Hale arrived again the next morning, drawn by Claire's frantic call. She showed him the letters, her words tumbling out like fragments of confession. He read in silence, his brow tightening. "These aren't just delusions," he murmured. "They're evidence of trauma repeating." Claire nodded, trembling. Then Lily appeared in the doorway holding the box. "It doesn't want to stop," she said, eyes locked on Hale. "It wants to finish what she started." The doctor froze, meeting Claire's terrified gaze. A sudden wind burst through the house, scattering the letters like white birds, and somewhere deep inside the walls, a child's laughter echoed once, then was gone. That night, Claire sat alone, reading Evelyn's final letter. The words bled with age. "If the box opens by bloodline, the sin will seek confession. Only truth breaks it." She folded the paper, her hands shake. Down the hall, Lily hummed again. The lullaby slower now, each note stretching like a sigh. Claire followed the sound to her daughter's room. The box lay open on the bed, red light pulsing faintly. Lily turned her head, whispering, "It's showing me what you did." Claire's throat closed. She wanted to speak, to tell her everything, but the box began to whisper too, in her own childhood voice, begging for help that never came. The air in the house thickened that night, dense enough to feel. The storm had passed, but silence carried its own kind of thunder. Claire sat in the living room staring at the box on the table, unwrapped now, its paper neatly folded beside it. Lily had gone to bed hours earlier, or so she thought. The clock read midnight. As Claire leaned forward, a whisper leaked from the box. Her own voice, younger, frightened. "Please don't tell Mom." Her breath caught. She backed away, but the lid lifted slowly on its own. A rush of cold air swept through the room, scattering dust like ghosts in flight. Inside, the box wasn't empty. It was a mirror, reflecting not her face, but the image of a girl drowning beneath dark, moonlit water. Claire screamed, slamming the lid shut, but the reflection burned behind her eyelids. She stumbled backward, tripping over the rug. The box trembled, humming low, like a living thing. "Stop!" she cried, but the air pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Then came the sound, the splash of water, though there was none. She turned, and the living room floor rippled beneath her feet, becoming the surface of the lake. The walls dissolved into mist, and the scent of lilies turned sharp and rotten. She saw herself, 10 years old, standing on the shore, Evelyn's hand gripping her shoulder, her sister's voice screaming from the water. The memory had never died. It had only been waiting to be remembered. Oh, Claire fell to her knees, sobbing. "I was just a child," she whispered into the darkness. Evelyn's voice answered, not from the vision but from within her own head. "And I told you to forget." Claire looked up, tears cutting through her ashen face. "You made me watch her die." The air trembled. The younger version of her mother appeared again, her outline flickering like film caught in firelight. "We do not speak of sin," the apparition said coldly. The lake began to drain away, replaced once more by the confines of the living room. The box sat still, open, its light dimming. But in that dimness, Claire saw something new. Lily, standing in the doorway, eyes glowing faintly red. "Mommy," Lily whispered, stepping closer. "Grandma said you left her there." The words hit harder than any scream. Claire staggered back. No, I tried to save her. Lily tilted her head, eyes glassy, her tone eerily calm. Then why do you still hear her? The box shuddered once more, spilling a single drop of dark liquid onto the table. It spread like ink, forming the shape of a small handprint. Claire's breath faltered as the air filled with the scent of the lake, that familiar coldness seeping into her lungs. Tell the truth, Lily murmured, voice layered now with Evelyn's ghostly undertone. Or it will take me next. The house groaned under the weight of truth. Claire sank to the floor, the box between them. I didn't mean to leave her, she whispered, voice trembling. I was scared. You told me to run? For the first time? Evelyn's voice softened, echoing from nowhere. And I did too. The glow began to fade, its pulse slowing. Lily knelt beside her mother, reaching out. If you say it out loud, she murmured. It'll stop. Claire hesitated. Then finally, the dam broke. I let her drown, she screamed. I watched and did nothing. The house exhaled. The lights flickered back to life. The box went still. But in the silence that followed, the sound of breathing did not stop. It simply changed rhythm. Softer now, smaller, like a child's. The next morning, the world felt quieter, but wrong. The sea had vanished into fog, the sky an endless gray. Dr. Hale arrived, face drawn tight, saying nothing at first as Claire led him inside. He examined the box, cracked and dark, fingers brushing its scorched edges. You said it stopped? He asked. Claire nodded, eyes hollow. It did. But something else didn't. Upstairs, a faint humming began. Lily's lullaby, low and tuneless. The doctor turned toward the sound, his expression tightening. She's repeating, he murmured, echoing the source. Claire's voice broke. What if she's become it? The lights flickered once. The walls answered with a soft, rhythmic pulse. Heartbeat or warning, no one could tell. Dr. Hale climbed the stairs, his every step measured, listening to the echo of Lily's humming. Claire followed close behind, whispering her daughter's name. They reached the doorway. Lily sat cross-legged on the floor, her nightgown spread around her like a circle of light. Before her lay the box, whole again, ribbon restored. It came back, she said quietly. It wants me now. Claire lunged forward, but Hale caught her arm. Wait, he said. The air shimmered faintly around the child, the light in the room dimming though no shadows moved. Lily lifted her gaze, calm and absolute. Grandma says it skips a generation. It's my turn to keep the secret. Oh! The storm returned full force. The wind howled, rattling every pane of glass. Hale shouted over the noise, demanding they leave, but the door refused to open. It's locked from the outside, Claire whispered. It doesn't want us to go. Lily stood, the box cradled in her arms, eyes unfocused as though staring through time itself. She's inside, Lily murmured, voice echoing in unnatural harmony. The lights flickered, casting the room in alternating flashes of shadow and red glow. Who? Lily, Claire cried. The child blinked slowly. The one you forgot. The air went still. Then the house shuddered once, deep and low, as if something enormous had awakened beneath its foundations. Claire fell to her knees. Please, take me instead, she cried. The box began to hum, the same pulse that once haunted her dreams. Lily's voice was layered now, hers and Evelyn's intertwined. Confession, it is not enough. The blood must remember. The room shuddered violently. Dr. Hale reached for the box, but the moment his fingers touched it, he convulsed. His eyes rolled white, mouth gasping soundlessly. A spectral flash lit the room. Evelyn standing behind Lily, her hands on the child's shoulders, smiling with cruel serenity. Claire screamed, grabbing her daughter, forcing the box from her hands. The light erupted, blinding, searing, and then silence. When the light dimmed, Hale was gone. Only his glasses remained, cracked and smoking beside the scorched rug. Claire held Lily, trembling. "It's over," she whispered, though she knew it wasn't. The box lay open between them, now dark and lifeless. Rain leaked through the roof, dripping softly into the silence. Lily's eyes fluttered open. "She's gone," the child murmured, voice fragile. "Grandma's gone." Claire exhaled shakily, pressing her forehead to her daughter's. But then Lily's hand shifted, small fingers curling around the edge of the box. "She left something," Lily whispered, staring into the darkness within. A faint sound rose from the box. A heartbeat, smaller this time, gentler. The kind that begins again. Dawn broke, pale and trembling, its light hesitant to enter the house. Claire hadn't slept. The box sat between her and Lily on the coffee table, cold and cracked, faint wisps of mist still escaping from its seams. "It's over," Claire whispered again, more to herself than to anyone. Lily said nothing, her gaze fixed on the box with unnerving calm. "Mommy," she finally murmured. "It didn't want Grandma, it wanted you to remember." Claire's stomach turned. "I did," she said. "I confessed." But Lily shook her head, eyes glassy. "You told the truth about what you saw, not what you did." The words hit like a blade. The light from the box flickered once more, pulsing with patient hunger. The house creaked, as though listening. Claire stared at her daughter, memories crawling up from the dark places of her mind. Mud, screams, Evelyn's voice commanding silence. "I tried to save her," Claire whispered. "I reached for her hand." The box trembled, disagreeing. The reflection inside shifted, showing the younger Claire standing at the lake's edge, motionless as her sister's fingers slipped beneath the water. "You didn't try," Lily said softly. "You watched." Claire's throat tightened, tears spilling freely. "I was scared." Lily nodded slowly. "And that's why it chose you." The light in the box pulsed brighter, bathing the room in red. Claire's reflection looked back, younger now, begging to be forgiven. The air grew colder. Claire's breath fogged before her lips as the house seemed to fade around them. The box opened fully, revealing not contents but memory, a mirror made of mist. Through it she saw the lake again, but this time from another angle. Evelyn stood on the shore, watching. The younger Claire turned away from her drowning sister and ran. "You ran," Lily whispered, echoing her thoughts. "You could have pulled her out." Claire's scream tore through the silence. "I was 10, she cried. The room trembled. The box pulsed, whispering in many voices. "Hers! Evelyn's! Her sister's!" "Confess." Claire fell to her knees, sobbing, her words breaking. "I didn't want to remember. I left her there." The light dimmed, accepting. The light from the box began to fade. For a moment, Claire thought it was over. Then the whisper returned, soft, childlike, the voice of her sister. "You left me, but you can still bring me home." Claire froze. The box glow changed from red to pale blue, a color that felt like forgiveness and death combined. Lily stepped forward, tears glinting on her cheeks. "She wants you to let go," she said quietly. Not of her, but of the guilt. Claire nodded weakly, pressing both hands to the box. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I remember you now." The house exhaled, floorboards settling like sighs. The mist began to clear. For the first time, the air smelled of rain, not rot. Claire lifted her head slowly. The light was fading from the box, but something lingered. Peace, or perhaps emptiness. Lily knelt beside her, taking her mother's hand. "It's done," Claire whispered, though her voice barely carried. "She's free." Lily smiled faintly. "Not her, Mommy. You." Claire's breath caught, realization washing over her. The weight in her chest eased. The decades of silence, the guilt she'd carried for sins both hers and inherited. But as she reached to close the box, one final time, Lily stopped her. "You can't close what's alive," she said gently. The box pulsed once more, this time in rhythm with both their heartbeats. Outside, the first true sunlight broke through the clouds. But somewhere, deep within the wood of the house, another heartbeat began to echo. The sun rose pale and forgiving over the Maine coast. The house stood silent, the storm washed clean from its windows. Claire opened every curtain, letting the light spill through the cracks like mercy. The gift box still sat on the table, inert and harmless, its glow gone. For the first time in years, the air smelled of salt and warmth. Lily helped her mother sweep the debris away. The shards of glass, the fallen portrait, the scattered pages of Evelyn's letters. "You don't have to keep them," Lily said softly. Claire smiled faintly. "Maybe not, but I'll never throw them out." The two shared quiet laughter, fragile but real. Neither noticed the faint tremor that rippled through the table beneath the box, small, deliberate, like a heartbeat, learning to live again. Afternoon drifted in quietly. Claire brewed tea, the kettle whistling like the past fading into distance. Lily sat by the fireplace, drawing in her sketchbook. "What are you making?" Claire asked. Lily smiled. "Her." She turned the page. Evelyn's face stared back, drawn with uncanny detail. Her blue eyes kind this time, not cruel. "She's happy now," Lily said. Claire looked away, throat tightening. Maybe she always wanted to be. The air shimmered faintly as though the house itself approved. But then the kettle stopped on its own. The gas flame beneath it had gone out. Claire frowned and moved closer. Behind her, Lily's pencil hovered above the paper. "Mommy," she whispered. The box moved again. Claire rushed into the room, tea towel still in hand. The box sat still. Too still. "It's nothing," she said quickly, kneeling beside it. "It's just settling." Lily didn't move, her eyes fixed. "It's breathing," she said. Claire reached out, fingers brushing the cool surface. For a second, all was silent. Then a single line appeared across the lid, carved as though by invisible nails. "Every sin has a keeper." Claire stumbled back, heart pounding. The house fell utterly quiet, the wind outside pausing mid-breath. Lily rose slowly, her small hand reaching toward the box. "Then it's my turn," she whispered, voice steady as the ribbon lifted on its own and wrapped gently around her wrist. "Lily." "No!" Claire cried, lunging forward. But the ribbon tightened gently, not cruelly, as though claiming rather than harming. Lily looked up, eyes bright with tears and strange calm. "Grandma," said every secret needs a voice, she whispered. "You gave yours back. Now it's mine." The box pulsed once, brighter than before, then settled into a steady glow. Claire knelt before her daughter, trembling. "I won't let it take you." Lily smiled faintly. "It's not taking me, Mommy. It's remembering me." A gust of wind blew through the open window, scattering the old letters from Evelyn's desk into the air like pale birds. When the papers settled, the box was closed again, and Lily's wrist was clean. Night fell quietly over the coast. Claire tucked Lily into bed, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Sleep," she whispered. "It's over." Lily smiled, eyes already heavy. "Maybe for now," she murmured. Downstairs, Claire sat alone in the quiet. The box remained on the mantel, still and beautiful, wrapped anew in crimson. She watched it for a long while, waiting for movement. None came. The sea outside glimmered, silver beneath the moon. Claire closed her eyes, letting herself breathe, for the first time in years without fear. Upstairs, Lily turned in her sleep, her hand resting on her nightstand. There, small and perfect, sat a new box, wrapped in white paper and red ribbon, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat beneath the dark.